All right, welcome back to Kings of Opinion, episode 79, and happy Halloween edition. Whether or not you're out there trick or treating or not, I think we got not so much of a treat as more as a trick, but we'll get into that in a few minutes.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
There you go, guys. So I wanted to start with my Ryan's rant, but we're probably going to be so involved in it, I'm going to push it back a little bit, and I'm just going to start with football for today. We got another big game for the Jets on prime time. They're playing the Texans at home, and they're giving 2.5 points, which I don't see how this is possible right now with you're a team that's 2-6 and you're giving points to these guys that are coming in. I don't expect them to.
And isn't Nico Collins back, or is he still out?
No, I think he's still out.
Okay.
Yeah, but even without him, you got Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell.
Diggs is out.
Is he?
Diggs is out for the season.
Is he really?
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
What happened to him?
If I'm not mistaken, he tore his MCL.
Oh, I must have missed that. That must have happened last week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
It's a big blow for them.
100%, because now they're down two wide receivers. But either which way, I don't see how the Jets have been playing recently that they could hold it for the hold the Texans down like that on a Thursday night game. Plus, I don't think they've won a primetime game yet, have they? I think they've been on like 3 or 4 times and they've yet to win. Is it? I don't know. I know they played Pittsburgh on the Sunday night game, lost.
Right.
They played the Bills on the Monday night, lost. There's got to be another one I'm missing.
Was there?
Yeah, I think so, because I thought there was a slew of them. I would have to check. But, well, they got this Thursday for sure.
Yeah, I think Nico Collins is back today.
Is he?
I believe so.
Well, that's good news for them, for sure. They're going to need him.
Because he's not showing up on the injury report.
Wow. Yeah, maybe that's the only 2 so far. The Titans was a Sunday game.
No, it says he's still out, but he's not showing up on the injury report for the game. How's that?
The Jets 49ers game, was that a Monday night game? That might have been a Monday night game. September 9th?
That was the first week.
Yeah, that was the Monday night game.
Yeah, so there you go. There's the 3 right there. 49ers, Steelers, and Bills. So yeah, so we got that going on. This is some week for football, like when we were making our picks, and I'm looking at all these games that are happening this weekend.
Did you want to touch on Sunday's loss?
For the Jets?
Yeah.
Besides it being pathetic, not
Okay.
at this point. I mean, listen, I was watching that game, and they go up and they're winning. I think it was like 15-3 or 6 or something like that. And it's the way they just couldn't score in the second half. Like, you go into halftime up. I know it's not a lot, but you're up by 9 points, and the Patriots suck. And you have
Not a good team.
right, and Mayo was even out at that point, I think. Drake May.
Yeah, he was.
And you had Brissett in, and we beat the piss out of him at home weeks ago. All of a sudden, they start coming back, and they, I don't know. They just, our field goal kicker can't kick a field goal to save his life.
That was, I would say, yeah, that definitely came, at the end of the game, that field goal would have.
And what they do, they dropped him, or they released him, or they put him on injury reserve? Because I heard they felt 2 kickers.
I don't know, but what I was gonna say is, after the week before, how do you let this guy still play and kick for the team? There's not a slew of field goal kickers out there that you could just grab and see if they can make these easy field goals. I don't understand it. Like, what is going on? And then the offense fell flat again, and you're playing the Patriots. They're decent defensively, but now you have Devontae Adams and Wilson. What's going on with Rodgers? Like, he shouldn't be sucking this much, right? I don't understand it.
Well, let's see what happens this week, because wasn't he talking about some, one of the guys on his team gave him some new drink. He says a fountain of youth or something like that he's been drinking.
Really? Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah. Cayenne pepper and water or something like that.
Oh my God, Jesus.
Says he feels great.
Well, let's see if he could beat the Texans today, because we need a win. If we don't get a win here tonight, the season, you might as well pack it in and just start Tyrod Taylor every week, so no one gets hurt, and at least you could figure things out next year. Like, I don't know where you go from here. Like, I feel bad for, like, me and the Jet fans out there that, we suck so much, and it's just not, like we're not even being overpowered. It almost looks like they're just playing just to play sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I think you would have to expect more out of this offense, and it's not happening.
And more of the defense, because the defense is supposed to be better than they were last year, and yet they're not.
Well, I mean, yeah, the defense hasn't been great, but I think, they've kept them in games. But I feel like the offense, like, they're just not getting it done.
No, they're not. Like, I think we were definitely winning, right? And then the defense lets Jacoby Brissett march down the field on the last drive of the game and score a touchdown.
It was like it was a big third or fourth, I forget.
Yeah, there's probably a bunch of plays. Like it's been
the guy who got benched for the rookie, right? Because he hasn't done anything all season.
Right. You know what I mean? And it's like you let them march down the field. I think there was a big pass interference play. Is that what you were talking about?
No, I'm talking about it was kind of like a hail. I guess you could say like a Hail Mary to even get them
In range.
In range, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they ended up scoring a couple of plays later.
Yeah, they were on like the 1 yard line, and then Stevenson, I think it was, just punched it in because the Jets have no run blocking defense as of right now. But that's what I'm talking about. Like the defense owns its share as well. Like granted, the offense shouldn't even be as close as bad this year as it was last year, and that's last year when we had Zach Wilson at the helm. As a matter of fact, he had a better record right now than Aaron Rodgers. So what is going on? I think they were 4-3 at that point, and we're 2-6, or maybe they were 4-4 because now it's 8 games. But either which way, if we were sitting at 500 right now, I'd feel okay. There were a few games, the Bronco game, this Patriot game, those should have been wins. The other one too, that we were leading in, and then it just all fell apart.
Especially starting the season, right? Everybody said, "Oh, the schedule was set up perfect for them. They could be 6-2 at this point."
Yeah, and they're 2-6, and now you got to play the Houston Texans, who thankfully aren't as good as they were last year, but they have more weapons, so they're another team that is a little weird.
Well, they lead their division, right?
Yeah, but like they're just not playing overall as good as they were last year.
Well, they have 2 losses.
I don't know. Let me check.
No, they have more than that.
Oh yeah.
Let me find out real quick. No, they're 6-2. So even as bad as they're playing, they're still winning ball games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the exact opposite of the Jets right now. So.
And the Jets are favored tonight.
Yeah, how is that possible? I don't understand it. I still don't get it. Well, whatever. I don't really care.
Something spooky about that one.
Yeah, like do they know something we don't know? But even still, like what's going on? And then we have. So we also have your guys' team, Dallas.
Yeah.
They took an L last week. We kind of figured they would, though, against the 49ers. But, they move on, and now they got to play Atlanta, who Atlanta's kind of sneaky good right now.
Well, Kirk Cousins has been amazing, so.
But it took him a few weeks to get.
He should throw for a good 500 yards this week.
So you're saying I should start him in my fantasy over Joe Burrow?
That's the dilemma I have, because in one of my leagues, I have Joe Burrow and Kirk Cousins as well.
Me too. I don't know what to do.
So I don't know what to do.
And they're both playing. So, like, the Bengals are playing Vegas, and they're terrible, right?
I know.
And Dallas is not terrible, but, like, you could throw, like you said, all over them, right? So, like, who are you going to... Like, which Kirk Cousins and Joe Burrow is going to show up?
Right.
That's what you got to choose.
The only thing with Kirk Cousins is that he's got Bijan Robinson, and as we've seen, Bijan might run for 200 yards against the Cowboys. So
right, which is a possibility because they also don't have a run defense.
Right.
So this week was very hard. I don't know about you guys. Like it took me almost like 2 days to make my list, and for the first time, I picked 5 games because I was undecided on which 4 I was going to go with. I know you don't have the computer here today, but I'll start with the picks before we get back into all this other crazy stuff we're going to talk about. So obviously, starting tonight, the Texans and the Jets. Jets giving 2.5 points. I want to pick the Texans so bad. I'm just going to stay with the Jets because I'm an idiot, and this is why my record, I don't even know what it is right now, but it's probably suffering because of the Jets yet again, just like last year. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm right at 500 now after the hot start I had. But yeah, I'm still gonna ride or die, I guess, with the Jets. Hopefully, they can get something going. I'd actually like to see Aaron Rodgers pepper the ball to Devontae Adams. Like, just start throwing him the ball. He's a big body. Just get him, get the ball down the field a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd be happy just seeing Aaron Rodgers be somewhat close to Aaron Rodgers for one game.
Correct.
For an entire game, let's put it that
Yeah,
way.
not just a first half or a second half or a quarter. And not for nothing, since Devontae Adams got here, Wilson's stock actually went up because he's been catching a lot of passes, which I guess could be good, but spread the ball around a little bit. Let's go. I don't know if it's the coaches or whatever, but whatever. Who cares? My second pick is going to be the Chargers versus the Browns. Chargers are getting 1.5, are giving 1.5. I'm going to still take the Chargers there. The Browns are also terrible, just like the Jets.
They did beat the Ravens. Though.
Yeah, but they'll come back down to earth after that. Like these things happen, just like when the
Which is
Raiders
Raiders,
beat
right?
the
The Ravens look like
Yeah.
they're unstoppable, and then they lose to Cleveland. It's like,
But if you remember, they did that against the Raiders in the beginning of the year. I think it was like week 2. They lost. They lost to the Raiders. Then I got the Rams Seahawks. Rams giving 1.5. I'm also taking the Rams. You got both the wide receivers back, Puka and Kupp. So what is it? Matthew Stafford is looks like he's going to be doing well in this game, I
yeah,
believe.
they both did well in their first game back.
100%, big time numbers. And my last pick, I was torn between the Colts Vikings and the Bears Cards, so I just wound up going with the probably worst game, which is the Bears Cards. I'm hoping the Bears defense can show up. The Cards are giving the Bears 1.5 points, so I'll take the Bears at plus 1.5.
Yeah, I guess you'll see how the Bears bounce back off what I couldn't believe that when I saw it live.
That
Right.
was crazy, right?
Incredible.
That was crazy.
Well, I'm hoping after that they do bounce back, so that's why I kind of took that game, because the Cards are just so iffy. Like, there'll be a game where they're really good,
Up and down, yeah.
and then they're really terrible. So, with that, Wonder, I'll pass it on to you.
Okay. All right. This week I am starting off with the Bills -6. I feel like I play the Bills a lot. They seem to be doing well, so hopefully they can keep the wagons rolling this week.
Plus, I really don't like Miami for some reason this year. Like, they're not as great of an offense as they were
No,
last
they're
year.
not. They've got a lot of issues going on, and even with Tua back last week, they didn't play that great.
But your boy, a chain must have had a crazy game last week, because I
Oh,
saw
did he?
in fantasy he was like the highest scoring player of the week, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm picking him on a separate thing in DraftKings this week.
Second up, I'm going with the Lions -3. Quite possibly the best team in the NFC. I think they keep it going.
That's a tough game, though. Against the
they-
Packers, right?
No easy game for
Yeah.
sure. Third up, I'm going with the Commanders. Hopefully they can keep that magic going from last week. And then fourth, I've picked Dallas every week, I think, this year. And I think, or at leleast I've got it wrong every week. So this week I'm going with the Falcons -3. We'll see what
Nice, that
happens.
means we got a chance.
There you go.
Here, Eddie.
I'm
You're
doing,
on the
I'm
bottom.
doing it for the team.
Listen, if they could turn around and beat the Falcons, then you might be a hero.
There you go.
An unsung
All I
hero.
gotta do is just keep picking against.
All right, Eddie, you're up.
All right, so I am going, my first game I'm going with the Bengals, -7.
Get ready for a heartbreaker there.
I know. My next game, going with the Saints, also -7. I don't even have my schedule up to see who these guys are playing.
The Saints are playing Carolina.
Yeah, so, you know.
I can't believe the Saints are 2-6.
Well, they started out on fire the first 2 games, right? One of them against the Cowboys, and then Derek Carr got hurt, so don't
Yeah.
forget that.
Right, no,
But he's back this week, I believe.
He
right?
is back.
So
He is back.
That's why I'm going with them. Maybe that lifts their spirits a little bit, and plus they're playing the Panthers, so let's see what happens. Next, I'm going with the Commanders against the lowly Giants, giving 4 points.
Oof.
Let's see, Jaden Daniels, what he's gonna do against the Giants. He
Well, it should be good.
beat them up. And then last but not least, I know I'm gonna regret this, but I'm gonna take the Cowboys, getting 3 against the Falcons.
Oh boy.
And let's see if Bijan runs for 200 and Kirk Cousins throws for 400.
So I have a nice parlay on there that I was doing some research on this week. I'm gonna share with you guys real quick if you guys want down on it. So these are only just anytime touchdown scores. So I got Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Chase, Hurts, Etienne, Kamara, Montgomery, and I'd probably even add. And you can take any combo you want. You want to take 3 of those? You want to take 4, 5, 6? There's 7 there. So I already bet the 7, and then I think I'm going to double it down with taking 4 or 5 of these. The payout is decent on a $10 bet. It's like 600 and something bucks
For a 7?
for the 7.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's
good.
why I did that right now. Yeah, because then I want to take these.
Yeah. It sounds like has a pretty good shot.
Yeah, and I'm even going to add. I know it's a tough one, but I kind of like him to get lucky because they lost last week. Is Derrick Henry to get into the end zone?
Yeah, because he didn't do much last week.
No, none of them did.
Who are the Eagles playing this week?
Eagles. Where are they? Oh, where are they? Oh, they're playing Jacksonville.
Oh, so he could very easily get a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, that's the big one too.
Anytime touchdown means he's got to either catch a touchdown or rush for a touchdown, right?
Yeah, you can't throw for one. But yeah, that's. I think that was plus 130 was for him to get a touchdown. But I feel like he's got like 8 rushing touchdowns. He gets one like every week. As long as they're on the goal line, he's getting it. So yeah, that's my stuff. Excited for this week is a football. There's gonna probably be a couple upsets in here because these games are so not one-sided, but they're so iffy with the point spreads this week. So be careful if you're picking with the point spread. If you're just going money line, you might have a better chance this week. How are the Knicks doing real quick? I haven't paid attention to them.
They beat the Heat yesterday, so they're 2-2.
Okay.
I haven't really followed, obviously, much because of the Yankees, but I know that they won yesterday, and Karl Anthony Towns had a
Big game.
whopping 44 points yesterday. So
That's good. That's good to see. You like that?
Yep.
So now getting into my Ryan's rant on the World Series. I wish it was a treat for us to be talking to you saying that they were going back to LA, but they're not. I don't know if I want to go game to game right now because we really don't have to, but I want to talk about yesterday's game. So I sit down on this couch that everyone sees here, and I'm watching this game, and my Yankee t-shirt, got a hat on, whatever. And after Game 4, where they won and they bashed their way to a win, which is great, they come right out of the gate hot. Right on the first inning, back-to-back home runs by Judge and Jazz puts them up 3-0. Then they slowly tack a couple more on. Stanton hit a home run. Who else did? Was it Wells? Or did they just score? Either which way, we were up 5-0 early. Cole, like we were talking about before the show, Cole looked dominant until the 5th inning.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, here's the problem. What makes the game as disgusting and disappointing as it ended up being is that everything was couldn't have gotten any more perfect, right? Because, like you said, earlier in the game, Judge gets up there, hits a 2-run blast, setting him straight. He looked great. He was getting some great swings. Then Chaz follows up. Like you said, Cole looked amazing. And then the 5th inning happens, and it's just... So they had all the momentum, but not only did they have all the momentum, but everything that they needed to happen. Most importantly, Judge just worked out perfect. And obviously we can't guarantee anything because nothing is guaranteed. But had they held on and won that game, they could have just went to LA and just now been totally relaxed and just totally, like they keep saying, just go out there and have fun. Because I don't care what anybody says, all the pressure at that point would have been on the Dodgers.
Agreed.
All the pressure would have been on the Dodgers because they would have went back to LA. Yankees would have gotten up to bat first. You would have had the big four coming up to the plate. If they would have jumped out ahead in the first inning with anything decent, Judge was still hot, it would have just demoralized the Dodgers. I don't care what anybody says.
I agree with you 100%. I thought yesterday, as big of a game as it was, the way they jumped out, you're right. Like, if they win that game, I'm not even going to repeat what you said. You're 100% right. But my thing was Game 6 would have been the most important game. I kind of equate it to the 04 series with the Red Sox. All the pressure would have been on them no matter what. Even if you're going toe-to-toe with them, like they score first and you come back, it all would have been on them to close it out in Game 6. Because once you get to Game 7, all bets are off. Someone could have a bad game, a bad pitch. Look at that. I knew it. I needed that replay. We'll talk about that in a second, that Judge's error in the 5th. But all the momentum would have been on the Yankees going into LA. And you couldn't have been easier. They could have been relaxed. Like, it would have been all on the Dodgers. And you've seen the Dodgers crumble before. So if you get past Game 6, now it's just a one-and-done game. Anything can happen. We've seen it before. I mean, only once, but we've seen it. And you get off to a lead in Game 7, and they start to stress, and they start to take uncharacteristic swings and all this other stuff. The difference between the series is I think the Dodgers made one error in the whole series. I don't know how many mental mistakes they made. Like, that's for another time. But you could just see in that 5th inning, even in that 5th inning, Cole, it was bases loaded, no outs. I think he struck out the number 9 hitter, then struck out Ohtani, which I don't know why you were not pumping strikes into this guy's, like, into the inside part of the plate. He had no arm. Like, you would see, he's holding his arm like this after at-bats. It looks like he was just trying to make contact and seeing if the ball was landing. So go right at him. You know what I mean? But they struck him out too. So now you had 2 outs. And you had a chance to get out of that inning. And this has been the story of the Yankee season to me. Like, these mistakes that they made all year long, and everyone's saying you just hope it doesn't bite them in the ass. And it's exactly what they did. I feel like Cole made that pitch to Betts. And once he saw the weak ground ball, he's like, oh, thank God, it's over. Like, maybe he didn't know where it was. Maybe he thought it was at second base and Rizzo was going to cover or whatever, or he wasn't too far off the bag. But he stopped moving to first base, and Betts beat it out. And once he did that, it was 5-1. Then to Oscar Hernandez double, 5-3. And it just, after that, it cascaded downhill for them. I'm surprised they even went up by 6-5 at that point.
Right. And, you have to give him credit because, like, I think it was John Smoltz that said it. He said that after what happened that inning, for him to stay in the game, not only stay in the game, but then strike out those last 2 guys, it was like, I think he said it was like the greatest performance he's ever seen. But everything else that happened after that ground ball to first base, I don't even I don't even put the blame on that.
No.
All he had to do was what he's supposed to do every time the ball gets hit on the ground to first base is go to cover first base. He does that. The
Inning's over and the game's over.
The game has got to be ours.
Yeah, has to be. That was the turning point. But it just showed, once again, how defensively unsound the Yankees are. Like, judging, I think it was like the 3rd inning, someone hits the ball to deep left center, and he catches it up against the wall. And I was watching him. Remember how last week we were watching the game and I'm complaining, like, why aren't they catching with 2 hands? Judge always is catching with 2 hands. That line drive right to him, you could see when they, like slow-mo the play, he took his eyes off the ball and is looking at the runner. Why are you looking at the runner?
But here's the thing with that play, in my opinion. That play happens once every, 10,000 fly balls. That never happens. So I get it. It happened. He screwed up. But the fact of the matter is if Cole just ran to first base and covered first base, and what made it even worse is that like he's pointing at Rizzo and first base. It's like the guy's trying to grab the ground ball. What the hell are you pointing at?
Right. I don't know. That's why I think it was like almost like exhausted mental like fart or something like that, because he thought he just got out of the inning after not giving up any runs and getting in all that trouble, and he bailed his guys out, and he almost like he didn't remember what he had to do at the end of the play.
And, I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I mean, obviously he's been great for us and everything and all that good stuff, and he's definitely our ace. And I haven't, as soon as the game was over, I shut it off. I didn't watch anything. I didn't
Me
read
neither.
anything today. But
Me neither.
I mean, I don't know if he did or didn't, but I think I would have appreciated it if he came out and said that game was my fault because of that one play, right? I screwed up, and that loss is on me. And I don't know if he did or he didn't, but
I don't know either, because I need a break from it. I didn't want to see all the, celebrating on Yankee Stadium and here. I heard a couple interviews before we started the show, and Judge was talking about, we made a few mistakes. I'm like, that's what you say during the regular season. And I get it. I could see how you could blame Cole. To me, I'm going to blame that entire team for that inning. They just looked like, especially being up 5-0, and like you're in such a overwhelming position in that game. You're halfway through the game. You make those plays. It wasn't just Judge. It wasn't just Volpe. And to be honest with you, it was Judge twice. He should have tried to like get the ball in quicker when the guy was taking up from second to third on that play where they tied the game up, because it put the guy in position to score, or maybe it was before that, to score easily. And it almost looked like he just caught the ball lazily and just threw the ball in. Like, you got to be playing with some kind of urgency in that inning. Like, you got to try to get it out. Like, throw that ball 100 miles an hour like you used to do from right field. Like, circle the ball, get in position to come out throwing, and be there with your hands on the glove so you could transfer and zoom it in there. It was like a lazy fly, like pop fly of a throw. I'm like, like it was almost like they just checked out for an inning, and then almost the rest of the game. Like I said, I'm surprised that we scored another run after that.
And I'm telling you, if he runs to first, covers first, and they get out of that inning, I think he was throwing a complete game.
100%. Well, maybe not then, because that inning, and you could see it. That's why I was saying, like, I blame him for not covering first, because you should know to do that 10 times out of 10. But he just looked exhausted after he got that. Like, it's almost like a relief went off his shoulders and he blacked out. Like this play that Volpe made, he had plenty of time to make a good throw. Why are you rushing it? And he's pointing at the bag. Like, I don't get what these guys were thinking in that inning. You know? Like, it makes no sense. And you might have just lost Soto to another team now, because...
Well, that's the other problem, right? It's like the game didn't even finish yet, and they're already talking about it. He's going to talk. I mean, come on, give it a day's rest at least. It's like, that's what I need to hear, is that the Braves are in on him now, and he's open to all 30 teams.
Well, he's going to say that. He's a Scott Boras guy, but at the end of the day, like...
we know nothing's... Because he's a Scott Boras guy, we know nothing's going to happen for 6 months. So do we need to talk about it?
Agreed.
To exhaustion today?
Agreed.
Last night? I mean, come on.
And I think MLB got exactly what they wanted almost in this World Series, besides it going 7 games. I think they wanted the Dodgers to win. You could see so many different plays, calls, like even just balls and strikes go their way. Like, our guys had to work so much harder. And even after that inning, it was just bad. Like, every guy you put in was putting guys on, walking guys.
Well, here's the problem too, right? And that's why I say, I think if he covers first and they get out of that inning, I really felt that he was going to throw a complete game, because now you're stuck going to the bullpen, right? And these guys were exhausted because they've been pitching every freaking game.
I hear you, but that's what you get paid to do. The Dodgers did it too. They put a bullpen game the day before, and those guys were back out there doing it again. And listen, they had their struggles too. Don't get me wrong. But when push came to shove and they had to nail down the win, they nailed down the win. The Yankees didn't get a guy on base in the 9th inning. Like, you should be up there taking balls, and they were somewhat. But you saw Verdugo swinging in the dirt. You saw all these guys swinging in the dirt.
Well, I mean, that was the thing, though. That guy, I don't even know what his name is, Hernan or whatever.
Who gives a shit?
He didn't pitch the game before, right? So he was on a day's rest.
No, I think he did pitch the day before. Thienen or something like that?
Thienen.
Yeah. He did pitch because they even said in like the 7th inning.
Oh, I think he pitched all 5 games.
Yeah, how long can he go? Who are you going to use?
Right.
Because he went yesterday, he won a couple innings. But they did what they needed to do. They were obviously a better, well-rounded baseball team and sound, so I'll take nothing away from them winning like everyone did in 2020 when it was the asterisk season. But let's be fair, man. Like, if I'm whoever the coach is going to be next year, and if it's Boone or whatever, first off, and we could talk about this for weeks and weeks and weeks, but I'll just touch on it real quickly. The team might look entirely different next year. Like, there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be gone. And that's with or without Soto being here. And they're going to have to figure out a way to revamp the team. And I'll tell you this, the minute they get into spring training, whoever you have left on this team needs to learn how to run the bases, know where to be on cutoffs, know where to throw the ball, all these fundamentally things, because Volpe's a Gold Glover. That play to him in the hole, he made the right decision. Go to third, but make a good throw. Your throw is going to beat that guy 10 times out of 10, as long as it's a good throw. He threw it inside the baseline. Throw it to the outside of the baseline so Chaz could even make the scoop.
Because when you look at it, right, in slow motion, of course, it's always easier. It looked like the scoop should have been easily made, but you make a good point. It's on the inside where it's blocked by the runner. If it's on the outside, it's a much easier scoop to
right,
make.
And even if you make a good throw that's knee, chest, even head high, he makes a play, no problem. You got the out. Now you got one out and it's only first and second. You got the lead runner. That changes the whole inning. Cole pitched 40 pitches in that inning. 40. And by the time he got out, he had 80-some pitches. I mean, the other 4 innings, he had 10 pitch innings.
That's why I'm saying the way things were going and the way he was pitching and just the momentum that they had going, that guy was throwing a complete game.
If that was a 1-2-3 inning, because he still went into the 7th. I think he got an out or 2 in the 7th, and then they pulled him for Clay Holmes, remember?
Yeah,
right.
He pitched
into the 7th.
6 2/3 innings.
Right. So he was gassed at that point. Now, if he has half the amount of pitches in that inning, let's say they make a couple of those plays, they get a couple guys on, yes, he probably pitches a complete game. But if that inning still held,
no, but if
I don't think he goes 9.
If he runs to first and covers first,
right.
They got out of the inning there, right?
Oh, yeah, but that would have been, yeah. So, yeah, it would have been a lot less pitches. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so then I'm in agreement with you. He would have probably went the distance if he made that play.
He wasn't, the way things were going, the way the game was going, the way he was going, he wasn't coming out of that game.
No.
I'm sorry.
And nor should have. And if he tried to take him out, he should have told him to sit in the dugout like Messina did that one year. Mm-hmm. But what a crazy game. Like, I could talk about this for hours, and maybe we'll talk more about this next week when all the dust settles. But I don't think I've seen in all my years an inning like that in my life. At least for the Yankees. I'll say it like that.
I don't ever remember seeing it.
Yeah, like especially in a playoff game. Like, that was straight disrespect to like baseball and Yankee Stadium and the fans in general.
Listen,
how
like
those
you
guys
said, it's just disappointing because and again, we would never know, but I truly believe that had it continued the way it started and they won that game, it would have been hard for the Dodgers to come away with the win because they would have had all the momentum. And the pressure would have been all on the Dodgers.
And I'll be honest with you, I think Rodon would have pitched a good enough game for them to win that game 6. It's sad we're never going to see it because I'm on this couch and I'm sitting pretty. Like, even Wander went to bed and they were up 4-0.
You know, I was like, oh, damn, this is going back to LA.
Yeah, and you're like, you were going to text and then you decided not to text us and everything. Thank God for you didn't. I would have killed you today. And I would have called you a jinx. But, listen, we've had disappointment for the last 15 years. So this is just another disappointment we're going to have. Like, it's almost like you should reset anyway and really think if you're going to sign Soto next year, because if you're going to spend that much money on him, you could get a buddy of mine said this, like you could get a lot of quality guys to fill that lineup in his place.
Yeah, but you know what it is. The problem is he's. You're not going to be able, no matter what you do, you're not going to be able to beat the team that he goes to, right? Because if he goes to the Braves or whatever the case may be, but I don't know. I think they need to sign him, and I think they need to work on that damn bullpen, man.
Well, they had a lot of injuries this year. They got to work on a lot of things. The bullpen, the starting pitching was pretty much good, but we still had question marks going into the playoffs. Like, how good is Rondon going to be? How good is Schmidt going to be? How good is Gill going to be? And they all did okay, but we still only have one ace, and it's probably not going to get it done next year. Like other teams are going to either make it better, or other teams are going to come out of nowhere, like the Tigers they did this year. Like, you got to be prepared for that. You got to have the depth that the Dodgers had this year. That lineup was tough. The fact that we had guys in their lineup that were like 0 for 15 in the World Series speaks to how good the Yankees pitchers were actually doing, but they couldn't get them over the hump because their superstars showed up. Like, there was no doubt once they won the game yesterday, Freddie Freeman was the MVP. There's no doubt. Guy hit 4 home runs in 4 games.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Ohtani he was just as bad as Judge. I think he was 2 for 20 or something like that.
Nobody talks about that, though.
No, but now even as an excuse, who knows if his shoulder's even that bad? He's showing it,
Listen, it's easy to forget about it and not have to talk about when the rest of the team is doing what they're doing. So.
Right. They had just so many weapons, and their guys just showed up more than ours. So, Cashman's got to take that into account, and he's got to revamp things. And there's a reason why the Martian didn't play in the series. His defense is terrible. And look at what happened. Our defense was good, not great. They couldn't make the routine kind of plays, and we lost the game because of it. That alone should say to me, if I'm A, the manager or the GM, we need to be better on defense. Don't care much about his offense because we still have guys in there that are supposed to hit. You still have the 3-headed monster if Soto comes back. You got Volpe. You'll have Jazz. You'll have Austin Wells, who was a rookie this year, should be better next year.
Yeah, and that's why I think the pitching staff / bullpen needs to be the focus, right? Assuming that they keep Soto, because if they keep Soto, like you said, they still got Soto, they still got Judge, they're still gonna have Chisholm, they're gonna have Stanton, and if Stanton stays healthy and continues, if that guy didn't get hurt, he was going to end up having a monster season when you add into the postseason. Come on, the guy was lights out.
Yeah.
So, like you said, you still got Wells, you still got Volpe. So, you got, I don't know,
They got to take strides in the right direction, but those are guys you're not going to get rid of. Those are rookie guys you're not going to get rid of. You're going to add some pieces, I'm sure. Now, you got to look for a left fielder because I don't see them signing Verdugo, especially if they sign Soto.
Which
And they got to make plans. Like you said earlier, if you know Soto's not going to sign till fucking January, then you know what? Make plans around it. Make sure you have a backup right fielder, or you're okay with Judge going to right, Dominguez playing center, and go get a left fielder because Dominguez cannot play left. He's dropped pop flies all day.
And that's why I think, I think they got to keep Verdugo. He wants to be there. He likes being there.
Then he's got to sign for a lot less money because they're not going to have the funds to just pay this guy whatever he wants. He doesn't even deserve it for the most part. Like, he had hints of decent playoff hits, but it wasn't enough. You know what I mean?
Do you honestly think there's going to be,
suitors for him? Who knows?
Crazy money thrown his way? I'm sure there'll be suitors. I don't think that there's going to be crazy money thrown at him.
I think baseball in general people get thrown crazy money at them. Look at Gleyber Torres. He almost played himself back to being a Yankee in the playoffs.
That's another one.
But we can't give him that kind of money. What is our payroll going to look like? For almost $400 million? And he doesn't even hit that well during the year. Like, everyone was dogging him all year. He had a great playoffs for the most part.
Do you honestly think that...
And he didn't show up in the World Series. He didn't get on much in the World Series. Didn't have a lot of hits in the World Series. Had a couple, but You know, the other,
He had walks though. He was
yeah, a
doing
couple
nice.
walks, but like he fizzled out. He was good in the
Do you-
first
do-
two rounds.
Do you think that somebody's going to offer either one of those guys more than $15 million a year at
Yeah,
4 years?
I do actually. I do. Because if you gave DJ LeMahieu almost $20 million a year, you're going to give these guys that. They're young. Well, more Torres, but these guys are younger. That's what I'm saying. Like, you might have to revamp and, like, go to your farm system for a guy or two that plays really good defense. Like, Oswaldo Cabrera is a perfect guy we've been talking about all these weeks. They were playing him at first when Rizzo was hurt. He was making great plays. He could hit the ball. He got a few hits when he was playing. Give him a chance. Give him a chance, maybe. You know?
So, we know Rizzo's a free agent, right? What's LeMahieu's status?
We got him for another year, dude.
1 more year?
Yeah, another year. But he's going to be on the bench. You know what I mean? But that's another thing. He would have been great defensively at first base in the late innings. Who knows? Like, you play with what you deal with. That's all I could say. Like, we're going to have 4 to 5 months to talk about all these things that they could do, and you know,
that would be interesting.
let it digest for now, and we'll move on. As far as stuff we were watching, I know I was watching the World Series. I watched that George Clooney movie, Wolf. Did you see
how
that?
was that?
Yes.
I liked it. It was cool. Yeah.
It's on Apple, right?
It was entertaining.
Yeah, Apple TV. It was entertaining.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I finished Bad Monkey. That was awesome.
Yeah,
The ending was cool. I thought it was funny. It ended how it started, kind of thing. I thought that was cool.
Full circle.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool. I started The Old Man. I'm only 2 episodes in, so I'm not going to get too much into it right now, but it's picking up a little bit. I kind of like it. I like how they do the flashbacks.
Yeah.
At first I didn't pick up on it, but I'm like, yo, that guy looks like a younger Daniels.
I've watched, I think the first 2 as well, and I haven't gotten back to it, but I mean, so far, I think I enjoyed the first season much more than these first 2 episodes.
Oh, so you're on the second season?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on the first season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I
Okay,
just
okay.
saw the first season. Okay. All right, so don't watch the second season. It sucks.
No. I've only gotten into like 2 episodes. I'm just saying, overall, like the first season was very good. I liked the first season.
Yeah, it's pretty cool so far.
The first episode is like a movie, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right? It's hard to, it sets the standard.
Yeah, it's pretty dope so far. I like it. I should have the first season done by this week, depending on how the week goes. But yeah, anything else that we
Yeah, for me, I've been watching the Old Man. I think I'm on like the second to last episode. I'm enjoying that. What else? Slow Dogs. I've been watching a bit of. I mean, not Slow Dogs. Slow Horses. I've been watching a bit of the new season of that. I'd say I'm like 3 or 4 episodes in. I enjoy that show. I actually watched a couple of movies over the weekend. I feel like I haven't seen a movie in a while. I watched Maxine, which is the 3rd movie in the. Do you remember that movie X? It came out like a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then there was Pearl, and now this is.
Oh, so that's a trilogy, the X?
Sort of.
Okay.
X is the first one. Pearl is the second one, which is like a prequel.
Okay.
But then Maxine is the final movie of the
And that's after X, I'm assuming?
Yeah. Yes, it's after X. Takes
Wow.
place after.
Okay.
Yeah, so I enjoyed that. It was good.
What is Pearl and Maxine on?
I watched the new one on Max.
Oh,
HBO
okay.
Max.
So the other one.
Pun intended.
So Pearl should be on Max as well, I would
Yeah,
assume.
I would think so. So yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I liked all those movies. The ending was, not great, but you got to wrap it up somehow, I guess. And then I also watched the new Sam Raimi movie on Netflix, Don't Move. I thought that was good.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Like not a ton of stuff going on, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it was like 90 minutes too. So.
Is it like Halloween or something like that, or?
More of just like a thriller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, I thought that was good. So yeah, that's what I've been currently viewing.
All right, sweet. Anything else for you, Big Earn? Nothing? All right, cool. Let's hit it with your. We
All right.
missed your music last week, so let's get it going this
We
week.
got a 3-piece this week. We're back. First up, we got West Side Gun with 11. Next up, we've got Freddie Gibbs with You Only Die Once. And third, this is an older album celebrating its 10-year anniversary, Run the Jewels with RTJ 2. So those are the 3 picks. for
Sweet.
this week.
Well, that's it for the show. We're back next week. Some hot stove talk and everything like that, I guess, and more football, and we'll, I guess, eventually get into basketball and hockey. Everyone have a great and safe Halloween night. Who knows how it's going to be out there tonight in New York, so good luck to everyone, and all the kids enjoy getting all the candy and all that stuff. Stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Take care. Happy Halloween.
Later, guys.
Be good.